Okay. Um, 8.2. 8.2 notes. This is the last section of our accounting period cycle. And what the last step in the accounting period cycle is to prepare a post-closing trial balance so that we can triple check that all our accounts are ready for the next fiscal period. All right, so general ledger accounts after closing entries are posted. You remember that we had permanent and temporary accounts. The permanent accounts move on to the next fiscal period, and that is the accounts of assets, liability, and capital. And so when you're looking at the ledger accounts, let's see if I can scroll. After closing entries, the ones with debit and credit balances should be the permanent accounts. So we have cash, assets, consumable supplies, prepaid insurance. Those are assets. They all have balances. The liabilities, accounts payables, have balances. Capital has a balance. Drawing is a temporary account. So you can see it has a line through it. I can't remember if we do lines or zeros. We'll have to mess around with that in our work together. Income summary, temporary account, zeros, or a line through it is a zero. Our revenue account, the income statement column credit, which was our first closing entry, is zero. And then all the expenses, the income statement debit balances, are all zeros. So that's what we're doing when we're double checking our journal entries. That's what they should look like after our closing entries are posted. All temporary accounts are closed and all permanent accounts have balances moving forward. Post-closing trial balance is just a record of this. So we put who, what, when, as always. The when is like the balance sheet, is a specific date, the last day of the month of that fiscal period that we're working in. You list all of the accounts with all the accounts with balances, the assets again, liabilities, and capital. Debits should equal credits. If they don't, then we have an issue. So after closing entries are posted, the trial balance is prepared. When is it prepared? After closing entries. True or false? True. The post-closing trial balance. That's why they say post after closing entries, the trial balance. Okay. Only when general ledger accounts with balances are listed. The permanent accounts, like we've mentioned, assets, liability, and capital, because the temporary accounts, all the expenses, drawing, revenue, and income summary are closed, they do not appear. Only accounts with balances appear. Only the permanent accounts appear in the post-closing trial balance. Temporary accounts appear in the post-closing trial balance. True or false? False. Only permanent accounts. Accounts with balances will be moving on to the next fiscal period. The total of debits must equal the total of credits in the general ledger. We mentioned that. When they match, that gives us an idea, the last second count, that our general ledger account balance moving forward are ready for the new fiscal period. So we're just basically listing all the general ledger accounts that have balances, which happen to be permanent accounts, assets, liability, and capital. All right, that's it. The accounting cycle, this picture is a picture of the accounting cycle. And all this, we have 8 chapters that we went through, is just a series of accounting, transactions, activities, when we're going through all this, that records all our information from our business into one fiscal period. That's the accounting cycle. All right, so we start with analyzing transactions, then journalizing them. We will then put them into a ledger by posting and preparing a worksheet. We journalize and post these adjusting entries, prepare financial statements, closing entries. So these aren't all go by the chapter, actually. Journalize and post closing entries. These two are chapter 8. This is chapter 7. Chapter 5 and 6. Moving forward all the way to the beginning. But this is the accounting period cycle. Okay? And they'll list it. And they might even ask, what is the last step in the accounting period cycle? Prepare a post-closing trial balance. And that should be it. that is our 8.2 section.